Welcome back to the channel. This is the first ever Q&A and play here at the beautiful Aviara Golf Club. You fired your questions into my Instagram story and my broadcast on Tour Truck Tuesday. Massively appreciate it. Be sure to stick into this video and see if your question gets answered. Let's go play some golf and drop some onions. First up, I am going with Daniel Jake Hurst, strategy stuff for the Onion Army. Daniel, I love it. Let's talk strategy on this golf hole. Third hole, first things first, what I want to take into consideration as I look at my Sky Caddy. I will absolutely, on this golf hole, be looking at the front and the back yardage. The IntelliPath here, you can see as I move it around, get that pin position right at the front. We've literally got 142 there, 132 to the front of the green, and then to go long of that green, all the way at the back edge is 170. So I can play a golf shot that works around that 150 number, knowing that if I don't quite get it, the front of the green is 132. I'm going to use a tee early on in the round, bit of room for the strike, and then playing the number we've got it, 141. I'm going a little deep of it, so a nice 8-iron. This is a comfortable flag today. Now that brings me to Chris Goupil. On course, in play, alignment, setup tips. This is a great question. As we look at alignment, try and bring yourself into where the tee is aimed. Now some golf courses will have mow line cuts. You can stand up perpendicular to them. Obviously you can't throw your tour aim down here. So one of the things I like to do for alignment tips is, this flag is green light, I'm gonna go straight at it. There's plenty of room either left and right. But you can see here as we go perpendicular to the target, if I hit it just left of this leaf, then that is going to leave me in a good place to go straight down at the target. Practice swings back behind the golf ball. Think of any swing thoughts you might have here. Move in, align the blade just left of that red leaf. So all my focus is on the red leaf. And then if you can mentally, just focus on the target. One look, red leaf. Target, one look, red leaf. And then go. Did I get the number to the flag? I didn't quite hit it, and it comes up perfectly on my yardage. A great strike, turf after the tee. It went out over my leaf. That is a great start to a consistent day with all the correct strategy choices. Got close back there, couldn't quite feel the wind as we were caught in the tee box, but it's not a bad golf shot. It spun back. Next hole. So here's a good question. Jeff Stein 7. Fitting players on golf shafts based on their height and or their age. I quite like that, Jeff. I mean, obviously if you can get in there for a club fitting, that's always going to be better, because we can look at the dynamic loft that you deliver to the golf ball. We can talk to you and interact about your goals and your strengths and weaknesses and where you want to go. But the bottom line is, I think you can put people in a world where this guy's going to need, or girl's going to need, a certain weight. This is their age. The key numbers, if you can get them to a fitter for a remote one, are going to be attack angle, launch, peak height, speed, and descent angle is always a good one to have. I always think with that, if you can add in spin rate, you can work a lot out. And you can get close on a remote, but nothing beats going there in person. Man on a push bike. Wedge choice when playing from bare lies around the green. Soul bounce information. But he even puts on there, please. I like that, man on a push bike. All right, so I actually went to see Derek Dominski, Golf Better Tucson, recently. And I am working on this area because I would say it's not a forte of mine. Now I know that, we're going to get into it later because I track data on my golf game. And I will cover that when we get to our next hole. But bare lies, I think my understanding is changing all the time of this. There are two methods. You need a toolbox, to quote Derek Dominski. I'll put everything down in the description. It's going to be, are you going to strike the ground first, or are you going to strike the ball in the back of the ball? So you're either going to go ball turf, or you're going to go ground and strike it. But man on a push bike is asking about bounce, he's asking about selection, and he's asking about the soul. When you get into these mill grind wedge fours, mill grind 4 wedges, you're going to see lots of different cambers and lots of different fall offs. This here is called heel relief, this is toe relief. and then it has the bounce that's the thick part right in the middle. And this 56 is at 12. What is bounce? Bounce is as if you've got a beach ball or something, you're pushing it down into a barrel of water and it's giving you back. So when you set up for a shot like this, the bounce is what you're hearing strike the ground, okay? So you want bounce that's going to give you back rather than just digging in and not coming out again. So with the correct technique, it will always give back to you as the player and push back. And you can get some feel then around the greens. Again, Dominski would be loving these practice rehearsals, this sound, and that is me thumping the turf. So think about wedges, think about them as bounce. If you play somewhere really firm, and I'm talking like Open Championship, UK style, then low bounce can be your friend. If it's really lush, you can go higher bounce. If you get in rough like this, where the ball quite sometimes doesn't sit down, then high bounce is gonna help you as well. Or if your chipping maybe needs a little help, higher bounce, I don't mind, but standard's a great place to start. And then just getting into technique on these bare lie golf shots, be prepared to strike behind the golf ball. If you open the blade more, you reveal more of the bounce, which can be dangerous if the ground is firm. So open it only a little bit. This one's a tricky one. Ball position becomes everything, because where I set the ball position and the shaft lean impacts how the bounce will play. So think about that. I'm going to go a little bit further forward with a shaft lean. I'm going to go hands a little back, nice and soft, and then it's literally going to be, listen to that sound. There's the feel. And let me see if I can nip one in there for you. And there's a great example, cutting across, using the bounce correctly and getting that sound how you need it. So blade not too open, hands back, trust the bounce. Pretty good. Just try and rehearse catching the fringe, slamming the turf. There you go. Lovely. So example of not a great strike, got away with it because you used the bounce correctly, and then getting that nip and just playing it the right way. But standard bounce wedges are a great place to go. Have a good understanding. Honestly, I really only think you need the low bouncers when you're on super firm conditions, and then use the bounce to your advantage everywhere else you go. Okay, this one's coming from a mate of mine, Harkin 70. Playing lesson, range lesson, or new clubs, what's best for amateurs? You know what, Harry? I think it's a combination of everything. I'm a big believer that if you can play golf with the best players you know and hang with them, or learn to hang with them, or ask them questions, that's going to help. Obviously, if you can see a coach, I think at the right times of year. I have a big thing with coaches and teachers. You want to be taught in the off season and coached in the summer, if that makes sense. So any swing changes, you want to be doing them in the off season, and then in the summer you get out and a good teacher, coach will do that with you. So this hole, for example, you know, you want to hit one down at that control box near that cement path, which is a cart path, and the white building, and let it drift round to the left there. But beyond doing anything with your golf swing back here, you don't want to be worrying about it over the ball. So as we answered earlier, pick your spot. I said white house, bring it back to just on the edge of the tee. And from here, I'm thinking nothing. I'm just in the golf shot. So that's a good ball, but the important thing that I want to hit on is that that missed my target by about 10 yards, but because I picked the right target for the shape of the hole, and this is a par 5 down the hill, right to left, I've hit it slightly out the heel, it's gone slightly right, landed soft into a hill that is banking from right to left. It's going to just be in the right side of the fairway, or right rough slightly. So it's about picking good targets. But Harry, none of that was based on my golf swing. That's all the lesson that comes onto the golf course. And I think any great teacher or coach, just to reiterate, if you're out there, it's getting to the end of April. They're going to be out here working on your game, not just focusing on swing work. So there's a piece and a place for all of it. Make sure you pick it based on your season and based on your goals. Seb O CT Holmes, how to hit off uneven surfaces. Even gave that one a little thumbs up. I like it. We have a slightly uneven surface here, and I've got 247 to the flag. If I look at it on the second shot, it's 231 to the front and 260 long. I'm off an upslope. You can see that, you can feel it. So look, an upslope like this is going to pop the ball up in the air, but look at the scenario, 230 to the front. I should be able to cover that because it's probably playing about 10 downhill. So for me, 230 to the front, and this is where I'd use Sky Caddy to cement if I'm going to play this shot, 263 to the back. That water is in my mind. Let it come into your mind, let it pass. Something I've not been doing a great job of, but let's just do that now. But the 260 number downhill, so 240 needs to be where I'm at. But I am hitting off a slight upslope. So how do I deal with that? Well, I know the ball's going to come out higher. I got two golf clubs. This one on the mark is probably going to carry 230. So the safe play is to go for a chopped up 3-wood. It's going to go higher. This is a mountain of golf club. And get a bit of a feel and listen to your own emotions on this. Is the golf shot too much for you? Should you be laying it up? I still feel like I can comfortably get here with this. It's 260 long, so I do have to take quite a bit of length off of this, and I dare say I feel like I could get there with that PUDI. But first off, let's try and play the safe one. We're not needing to be aggressive. This is medal play. Let's think about it as that. Same thing, off this slope, ball is slightly above my feet, it's slightly on an upslope. I'm going to aim a little bit right because the ball is going to move to the left and it's going to come out high. I'm going to start it at the academy behind, I know is there. You've got a little bush. There's a little breeze into, which makes this club feel like the club. And I'm just talking now through my emotions. I'm probably going to pick something way out into the skyline. I like to do that because it gets me away from being lost in any danger. So we're going to go out into the hill there and just play. And this is a high-risk golf shot, so just relax, get yourself in a comfortable state of mind, focus on what you're trying to do, little draw off this slope, and then let's play the golf shot. So you can see it's come out with the draw. Depending where it lands, I think it's going to be back nestled in that left corner. Now, one of the things, I'm going to have another go at that. I actually didn't hate that, and I think it's going to be okay. But one of the things on a slope, and I was going to say it before I hit it, but I was trying to focus on the golf shot. With this one, the miss is left, so you're going to be backed up and you're going to flip. Move forward. So get the head moving forward. They're not the head of the club, the head of your body moving forward to try and avoid that hooky left one. This is a great golf shot. See how I'm forward on the hill? It's a great result, just bounced up on the green. Now, we're in practice. I want to see if I can get there with this brand new club that's coming out first week in May, this PUDI. This thing is going to come out hopefully hot. I have to be more aggressive with this. Why didn't I pick this play? Because on a slope like this, if you're more aggressive, I'm likely to back up and flip. But let's see. Can I carry it? And it's good if you're in a practice round like this to get that information so you know what the club is capable of. Much more aggressive swing. Because it's an iron, it doesn't want to turn as much. That's made the carry. It's made the carry and gone to about 3 feet. We should have just hit that one first out the gate. Please head to tailormadegolf.com and check out this bad boy. That's the best shot I think I've ever hit on camera. I'm going to be purchasing one of these. It is the PUDI 3 iron, but I needed all of it to carry that yardage downhill. Aggressive play. You can see why I chose each option. If it's match play, that's where you go. So look, this is the results of these golf shots. Yeah, we're a little close to this, but I said it was going to shape. First shot here, second shot there. It's hard not to shape when you've got, if you think about your equipment, when you've got that 3-wood and it's got the mass back here, it's going to want to turn off that hill. But look at that PUDI. I mean, that was magic there. Now, one of the things on uneven lies, let's talk about the downhill lie, but chipping, and it's the same for a long shot. Get your spine angle with the slope. So for me here, you know, I want to get my weight on the low side. I also now, I spoke to you a couple of holes ago about striking the ground. That's no longer an issue. If I'm chipping back here, I'm going to strike the ground back here. Because I've set my spine angle this way, I can Go with the slope. This shot, if you set up correctly, is not as hard as you think. I've got my 56, 12 degrees of bounce, but because I'm leaning the shaft, I'm now losing the front of the bounce, so it's not playing at 12. So we'll go forward like this, shaft lean this way, and then it's literally just get your land spot and don't back up on it. Pretty good result. It's not a tough golf shot if you set the positions where you want them. Let's see if we can tap that one in. Let's move on. Hole 11, look at how beautiful this is. Tyler_Martinez Golf. What do you do when you feel like your game is at a standstill? Look, Tyler, the secret's in the dirt. You've got to put the work in, as Mr. Hogan told us with that famous quote. But you need to know what to work on. I'm a big proponent of this. There's a reason it's on the side of the hat. Clipped is right there for reason that you must study your golf game and know especially what to work on. I've talked about it before, but in that main profile, you can head to what to work on. There is a reason I went to see Derek Dominski for the short game. Clipped was highlighting, it was a key area. There's a reason I put in the Tour V KBS golf shafts. Clipped was highlighting. Trottie, you've got it wrong. When I changed into the new QI10 LS, Clipped was happy with it. The data confirms it. Once you see that, you can start to grow in confidence and know what to do. I also know from data on SkyCaddie and everything I'm capturing, there's a reason, guys, I talk about all these products. I got 187 to the middle, flags on the front, so we probably got like 178 flag. It's down breeze a little bit, 171 front. Little bit of trouble on the right. Plenty of room long. Safe is long. That's basically the key here. If you go a little long, you're not in any trouble. But if you want to make birdie, then I can hit the 6-iron, which is probably going to be on that number. Right of the flag is dead. So take your alignment point and go just slightly left of it. Aim at that fat front part of the green. Draw the line all the way back. You're seeing a theme now. Practice swing here. Get into the golf shot. Make it a motion. I literally just want to take it between that divot, old divot, there, perfect, see the shot. And that is going to be, it was caught an ant hair heavy. It's gone 173 to a 174 flag. You might be sat there watching this on YouTube and going, all right, yeah, he's hit the green, great job. It's gone straight at my target, which means the path to face was good. The strike isn't bad, look. You can see there, the tee's there, gone through there, use the information. How's that club path? Let's get back where you characters are. Pretty good, little left maybe. So I might have held the blade a bit harsh maybe. Pretty good though. So you're gonna take a golf shot, take some positives from it, and you're gonna move through these plateauing layers. But I know approach play, for me, is a strength, because I know where my strengths and weaknesses are. And that's what you got to do, Tyler Martinez Golf. You have to identify where you're strong, where you're weak, then you can spend your time on those areas, but also how much does it impact your game. At Mason G 90272, do you recommend changing the stock putter shaft? Love the content. Mason, cheers mate. I'm glad that you're liking the increased content we've been putting out here. Shout out to my man Q behind the lens. A lot of it is to do with him, and this Q&A on the golf course idea was his too, and there are some banging questions in here, so I appreciate it. I got two putters here, and this is the gamer. You've probably seen me use this a lot. Del Monte, a heavy golf shaft, very stiff golf shaft in this. But look, it's because I use it as an arm lock. Now, I've got another one out that I do bring every now and again. It's an old school prototype, but it has this fluted shaft in here that's got a slightly different shape at the end. It's very soft when it comes to feel, okay? So I like to mix it up a little bit, but generally in anything that's of importance, you'll see me claw and arm lock. The firmer golf shaft, if you wanted to get away from stock and you wanted to go into GPS, probably from KBS is the one I would look at, it's much firmer. The feel is a little more harsh. It's more controlled. That's fine. But then you can get into a softer golf shaft like this one, but your method of putting I often find when I play this, for any of you old school guys out there, it makes me feel of Ben Crenshaw, someone who got very famous with this, or even John Daly, 1995 Open Championship. He had a putter like this, and it really makes you want to feel. So when my feel's off, I'll return to this putter and just try and feel it down there and get the responsive nature out of the golf club. I actually know that Tiger will use the famous model of this putter to practice, and it's all because of the feel that this thinner golf shaft will give you. Now look, I'm also a big fan of Bryson and the way he putts, very stiff like this, firm golf shaft. Any of those golf shafts you see out there now on the tour that are like coloured ones, the graphite ones, much firmer. There's something to it. I think with putting, it has to be where your headspace is at. I think when it comes to data, which I use through Clipped, I know on a putt like this, I generally miss it short and low. So that's short and high. I'm quite conservative. So I can make these fleeting comments about my putting. Can you? That would be the question I'd ask. But back to the feel of this one, now it's got to be a bit more mechanical and a little bit harsher feel. It's very hard for me to put that across to you as to how that is, but that would be my take on it. Now, truth is, and a little added section to this, I'd be extremely annoyed at that. I've hit, yes, I'm playing around 2 different putters, but what am I learning? I've learned nothing. I've given it exactly the same result. So for me, if you're out practicing like this and you've got time, why am I putting the same putt on it? We know, and my start line was here, I used the shadow, but the pace was off on both. So you have to try and push yourself. And I used to do this a lot through my playing days, and I played a lot more. You have to try and push yourself to get different results. So I absolutely now want to get a different result to what I've just seen. So hit it firmer, at least it's up past the hole. Now let's change the line and hit it at that pace. Should turn late. It does, but at least I'm getting different results, so the feedback is there. So it's all well said and done, chopping and changing and messing around, and look, for fun, it's nice to have the 2 options, but I do tend to stick with the one that's the thicker one, and in this day and age, technology and trends are pushing us through to firmer, more stable golf shafts, but every now and again, it's always nice to keep your mind fresh and have a bit of fun, and see if we can hit those John Daly, Ben Crenshaw little teasers. So frustrating, this game. But try and stick with what you like and get the feel for it, because you don't want to have 3 results that are exactly the same. At least with that, we've got some creativity, we got some feel, and we got some different results. The new stiffer golf shafts, I do like them, I like where it's going, but just keep a feel check in there. John Paul Eden, can lead tape on a wedge bring the flight down, and where if it can? Look, you're going to have to put so much lead tape on the top back. You want it above the CG of the wedge. So you'd have to put it right up here, but you'd be into 12 grams of lead to really do anything, to move that center of gravity, 2 mil, that might then make the launch of that wedge lower and make it spin more. But the sacrifice with 12 grams is, and you've heard me talk about, and I'm going to put the link down in the description, you've heard me talk about swing weight. You're going up then, what's that, like 12 swing weights or something silly? More than that, 14 swing weight, crazy. So the head will feel so heavy. So I wouldn't advise it. The bottom line is, if you want to bring the flight down in your wedges, crank the loft. The loft will do way more. At tipping _on_44s. Hell of a handle, I like it. When should you cut or draw when chipping? Well, the bottom line is, like all of this, is when the scenario suits it. So a golf shot like this, you've almost got a false front there. I've got a 52-degree wedge. Bounce now on this one is 9. That's the standard bounce. If I'm going ball back and I'm just trying to play a runner, then a bit of me is okay with you drawing this chip shot. Remember, the green, looking at it, is a little bit that way, left to right. So if I draw it, then the slope is enabling me to do that too. But I've flown the false edge, I've got more run out of it, and I've got away with that. My worry with that one is it was going to shoot beyond the hole. I would only ever look to draw this chip shot. I just think there's a lot more ease. But if you want a bit more spin and you want a bit more friction, or you've got to cut one into a hill, then this is when you've got to look at the cut shot. I mean, the master of this is Tiger. Just watch him at Augusta. Some of the things he does, the way he played that chip shot years ago that he holed on 16, and his hands when he's hitting these shots. So you want to fly this further, get more cut out of it, and really see if we can, nice and soft. But you've got to fly it way further and then bounce. Look at it going right, going right, going right all the time on a slope that sends it right. Now it's great, I got away with it. It was more spin, it landed softer. The other one was a runner. So there's two different ways of playing it. You can use it wherever you want, but you do need to read the situation. Shout out Derek Dominski. If my clip data doesn't start improving based on these techniques, then I don't know what we're doing around here. But that for me is a couple of great results. At Gimme Putt for birdie. I like this one. Are shafts overthought when doing fittings? 100% yes. Absolutely. Get yourself in a family of golf shafts. What do I mean by that? For me, it's a weight category. If you really want to go down the rabbit hole, it's an EI curve category, it's a torque category. Decide what you like and then don't deviate off that miles and miles. There's no need. So get what you like and stick in the family. Brands and that, up to you, but you've got to be in the family that knows, you know, works for you. At MacBrothers_101, what to look for when buying your first driver. I always look still to the tour players. Who's using what on tour? What are the best players in the world using? I did an interview once with Kevin Chappell, the tour player, and he said to me the reason he uses TaylorMade is because he doesn't want to be giving up strokes to the best players in the world. Makes sense. Strokes gained off the tee, crucial to great play. So I think if you're looking at a TaylorMade driver, you've got three different options, the Max, the QI10 and the LS. You're going to be able to get into one of them. Take your time through the fitting process and go from there. If you are looking at another manufacturer, fine, do it. Just get fit for it and make sure you get the right one for your game. At Luke_AE, should wedge specs match your irons, length, shaft and lie? No, I don't think they should. I actually have a wedge video. I'll put it down in the description. Be sure to check that out. And you can see as a quick overview right here, 610 wedge shaft from KBS in the 56 and the 60. And then because I tend to hit full shots still with it, the Tour V110, which matches my irons, is in that 52. I don't know if I have them right now. This club, the 60, plays a little bit flatter than everything else, just because I want to hit some softer shots and I want to ensure that by being flatter, the toe is a bit further away from my nose, so a poor shot with it is going to just come out soft and give me that left to right spin. So absolutely not. These need to be clubs within themselves. Be sure that you match them up and spec them to be that. There you have it. That's the first ever Q&A and play. If you got into the comments section on my Instagram stories, or you dove into that broadcast and you got a question in here, I shouted you out, I got you, I loved it. Thank you so much. Let's keep the interaction going. If things are thriving in here, bang your comment down below. When we do our next Q&A and play, I'll be sure to get to you. But until then, keep playing golf, keep at it. The summer's here, keep having fun, and I'll answer the next questions next time we're up.